Hey, how's it going? Thanks for being here. It's another episode of MakingMyself.com. This one is gonna be yeah a little bit different. In the I don't know if you remember the inversion model, which is kind of instead of going for the things that actually brings us happiness, let's identify what actually is gonna bring us misery, so we can avoid those, right? So I want to identify or identified six main dimensions, six main things that we need to basically try not to fuck up, so we're not going to be miserable in the future. And those are fairly simple, and normally we forget because, again, like, we don't tend to remember or to focus on the middle and long term vision, and sometimes there's some decisions that we take in the short term that of course is going to impact us on the mid and long term, and we need to be careful. And if we fuck up in one of those dimensions, then we are in a in a world of pain sometimes. So basically, let's remember what are those, and hopefully you will recall some of those, and we're gonna make some really good decisions, or avoid basically really bad decisions in the future. So number one, the first one is gonna be, well, you know that already for sure, how important it is to choose the right life partner. Like, selecting the right person to share your life with can profoundly impact your happiness and well-being. When it's rushing into a relationship without considering compatibility, values, and long-term goals, can lead to discord and a lot of unhappiness. And of course, it's sometimes it's hard, right? Because, like, people change in the long term. But we need to be careful. What are the values of the other person? Because even if we kind of, let's say that we agree up that eventually we might get separated, right? We might get divorced. But then the nature of the person that you are with, is it a loving type of person? And of course, it's not easy sometimes to identify that, or they may change as well. But as long as we can afford to identify if those people are good people, and if we get a divorce or we separate eventually, they're gonna be still, like, they're not gonna try to crush us, right? Because it's not in their nature. And sometimes we can actually pinpoint that stuff, because if they try to do that stuff while you are, their partner, to other people, well, today it's fine because you're on their side. But once you're not on their side, how are they treating the people that are not on their side? Then you can observe, because once, if you're not on their side in the future, most likely these people are going to try to do the same to you when you're not on their side. So those are the little things that we need to identify when choosing a life partner. Like, being aligned in terms of values, long-term goals, all these things, right? Compatibility, of course. And it's really hard to find someone like 100%. But again, we need to be careful with the type of person that we're gonna be with for most of the of our lives, right? And talking about that, next one is gonna be career path. And career path, not only for the things that we already know, like, of course, financial stability. So having money problems, it's a well, you can actually spiral more problems that are not related to money. So, like, the career path is important, right? In terms of financial stability, like job satisfaction and all. But we also need to think the type of person, the type of people that we're gonna be with during our career path, right? Like, having a good boss, it's really good for your mental health for sure. Instead of having like a boss that it's really pressuring, and it just can just take you, and you end up like really into a depression or something worse. Like, not only your boss, of course, but your colleagues as well. And normally this goes with industries. The type of industry that you pick, of course, you might get a lot of money, but then there's a trade-off because there's a lot of stress as well. So what's what's this thing that you're really good at, right? That you enjoy, you enter into flow, and you can just spend some time there. And it's a good type of pressure. Like you can check the previous episode about um, stress, which is the good type of stress, right? To identify that from distress. We don't want bosses or colleagues that cause us distress. We want stress. We want the good type of stress, right? So let's look for something that our skills and the future prospect is good for us, so we're not dissatisfied or in a stagnation eventually. But again, like the career path, it's something that really we feel fulfilled, and it doesn't have to be your passion really. Actually, there are some studies that showed that you actually are happy doing stuff that you feel competent in, and it didn't have to be your passion before, but now it is, because you're getting really good at something, and you're getting paid. The better you do something, normally you're gonna be rewarded as well. So these things on career path are important, but let's not minimize the importance of the type of boss and the type of colleagues that you are exposed to. And if you think, okay, I cannot control that, well, depending on each situation, but normally we have more control than we think we have in terms of when we interview with some company, right? We need to identify what are the trade-offs. We normally optimize a lot for the salary part, and it makes sense, of course. We all do that, but let's think that way. If you're gonna have a boss that is gonna shorten your life 10 years because of the stress that you're gonna go through, okay, what are those 10 years gonna cost in terms of salary? Because maybe you should be earning $1 million per year if you have to actually cope with your boss, if that's a really bad boss, right? Because your health is going to go through the drains, and you don't want that. So these little things, but again, the social part is really important. Actually, many of these 6 dimensions that we're going to touch on are actually socially. They come from the social perspective. Like the first one, picking a right partner, right? That's basically the type of people that you're going to be involved with. The career path also, the type of people that you're going to be involved with, your clients, your colleagues, your stakeholders, anyone that you're going to be interacting with. Even you're going to spend more time with them than with your family. Just imagine, right? So we really need to take that one and be thoughtful about this one. And again, yeah, like the financial situation, it's really important. Like having a good salary, it's important because we want to avoid having salary issues, or not salary issues, sorry, like it's more money issues. Having a high salary or having a high income, whatever it is from your company, if you actually can do something and create your own company where you pick your clients, you pick your all your stakeholders, then you're really in a good position. But then you have risk as well. Like there's a lot of people that they can go bankrupt as well. So it's kind of balancing the financial part with your skills, with the social part, right? It's not easy, but again, those are the things that it can make you miserable if you make the wrong choices in the future. Well, today, but you will suffer the consequences in the future. So on the financial part, like I separated that from the career path, because one thing is a career path, which is of course correlated to the potential earnings that you're going to have, but the financial management, it goes beyond what you're earning, right? Financial, it's basically, okay, there's the income part, like how much you're getting in, but it's also thinking about how much you're getting out, right? What are the costs? Like poor financial decisions such as overspending, accumulating debt, or neglecting savings can have long-lasting repercussions on your financial health and security. like failing to budget, like plan for emergencies or invest wisely, and thinking about how to invest better in the long term, because short term it's really tricky. We are not going to improve we're not going to be better than machines today or algorithms that are already in the market. For those that are like day trading, unless they already know some insights and stuff, which I doubt, it's really difficult. It's really, really difficult. So we need to think when it comes to financials in the mid and long term, right? To avoid like instability and stress. So if you haven't had a good financial management education, let's say, or training, there's never, it's not too late. Like go online, like just focus on that stuff, because it's gonna impact you a lot. And it's critical. It's critical. For instance, like how much debt are we taking overall as a society? Like that's crazy. It is crazy. We should avoid debt like cancer, unless we really know what we're doing, right? Like imagine, like if you have a company and you buy something and sell something, right? You're not never gonna buy something at a lower price than you're selling it. Otherwise, you're losing money, right? Every time you're moving some asset, you're gonna try to buy low so you can sell high. In terms of financial education and financial management, that's the same. So there's this thing, it's called interest rate, right? Which is the cost of the money that you're getting. So if we are, getting money at an interest rate, and whatever we do with that money doesn't give us more money than we're in spending on on the interest rate, or the cost of having this money, is wasting your money. You're losing money on this. This is a loser. Like, just let's avoid debt. And sometimes, because we want to be, we want to rush many things, and if we're patient, sometimes the really good stuff happens without rushing. And because, okay, that happens a lot in business. If you're not knowing really what are the risks of taking debt, you're gonna go bankrupt eventually, and that's critical. But of course, sometimes we need it, and if if it makes sense and you know what you're doing, then it's okay, because you want to, even if you are taking debt, right? The interest rates that you're paying, it's lower than what you're getting from borrowing that money and investing it into something else, whatever it is, But you need to really be careful on that one. So let's ideally, or the core of the financial management is, let's avoid debt as much as we can. And yeah, like just let's adapt on what we have. Um, I listened to a quote the other day, was, if you're not happy with a coffee, you're not going to be happy with a yacht, right? So I know that there's sometimes a lot of pressure from your social circles, but that's another thing that we're going to touch on on some of the dimensions. Like, we need healthy social circles, but on the financial management part, like, let's not overspend, because it's gonna bring a whole wall of pain and trouble. And yeah, like that, those are the basics, right? Let's not spend more than what we're earning, and let's avoid that, basically. And if you don't know about that stuff, again, you can go online. There's a lot of content. There's a ton of content, good, but we need to identify the good content versus the bad content, right? Let's avoid the bad content as much as we can. If you have, a little more curiosity on that stuff, let me know. I'll be happy to, dig down or double click on that part as well. So we are a little bit more financially savvy, let's say. And it's a little bit more, it's just common sense. Let's try to be common sense. All right. So in terms of education, that's actually the fourth dimension, education, right? The choice of education and academic pursuits can significantly impact your career and opportunities. So it's correlated to your career path, right? But also in the personal development as well. So opting for the wrong educational path or neglecting further the learning opportunities, it may limit your professional growth a lot, and also, of course, the earning potential. So we need to be savvy on some stuff, and we need to know our skills or strengths, especially double down on our strengths, and kind of cover up our weaknesses so they don't kill us. But let's normally the good strategies are like kind of doubling down on our strengths and skills and just covering for the weak spots, because we're not gonna become like elite on the weak spots. But as long as they don't kill us, we can focus on the strengths, right? So in terms of education, what are we curious about? Which there was another mental model, I think, or another episode where we talk the dimension that is gonna improve the world, that would improve the world the most. This is curiosity, right? So there's no learning without curiosity. So let's nurture our curiosity as much as we can, which will make us to be a little bit more educated, a little bit more trained to make better decisions. And whatever it is, like we need to keep on constant learning, constant educating ourselves, to stay on top. Like if you're using your iPhone, right? Like you update the OS, that's our OS. We need to update our operational system, which is our brains, right? To make sure that we're not outdated, and eventually we're gonna be out of the market, right? We don't want to be outdated at all. So we need to be like keep on being curious and keep on learning. So and of course what we can learn as well is to stay healthy and to have a really good lifestyle, which is number 5. This is number 5, which is health and lifestyle, right? Like neglecting your physical and mental health, engaging in risky behaviors, or ignoring signs of illness can have serious consequences for your overall well-being. Failing to prioritize self-care and healthy habits and preventing healthcare measures may lead to chronic health issues and diminished quality of life. We don't want to be bad. Like if we screw up on our health, for sure on the midterm, long term, it's gonna be terrible. The good thing is that there's a lot more education out there, right, in terms of how to stay healthy. There's a lot more information, and we need to, be updated with all that stuff. If we don't take care of ourselves and understand basically what's wrong for our body and for our minds, and I don't mean only in terms of nutrition, right? Like nutrition, it's critical, of course. It's the fuel that we put in our bodies. It's also the type of information that we consume. There's already proven that all the stuff about social media, that we are all kind of already a little bit too engaged with social media. Sometimes there's a threshold that we just need to avoid, because it can be harming for our mental health, right? Especially and we need to be careful with the youngsters, like the teenagers. We need to be careful if they're too engaged with that stuff. We need to make them understand what are the consequences and risks involved with that. Again, we should double down on okay, what's healthy for us, what's a good lifestyle, and try to not be crazy, because otherwise it kind of it's not balanced, right? If you're too out there on the spectrum of healthiness, you stop living. Like you're just too concerned about health and all that stuff. It's gonna be too painful. But like the right amount of health and what's good for us, and of course we can sin a little bit sometimes, but not too much, because we're gonna end up paying eventually. And again, like not well, somehow like there's a balanced diet, right? A balanced diet, but also connecting with having a balanced diet, not only for nutrition but also for the last one, which I think it's one of the most important ones, because those may affect in all the other stuff that we would just mention, right? Like the type of partner that you're gonna have, the career path, the financial decisions that you're gonna have, the education or curiosity that you have, the health and lifestyle that you're gonna have. Like, this one can affect to all those, which is personal relationships. We are social animals. We need people. We need them because it's the way that we survived, right? Being surrounded by the right people. So the way that you interact with others and cultivate meaningful connections can profoundly affect emotional and social fulfillment. Making impulsive decisions in friendship or family dynamics or social circles without considering boundaries, communication, and mutual respect may result in conflict and loneliness. Loneliness is one. I think there was a study that they mentioned that loneliness kills as much people as cancer as well. Like, actually, loneliness brings us to this depression, a depressed state. Or defenses mechanism goes down, so we get a little more ill, right? And we get sickness and all that stuff. So, and it doesn't mean like loneliness as a single. Like, you don't have to be single to be lonely. You can be single and have a really good, healthy friendship with people surrounding you. Might be family, might be friends, but we really need to be on a, let's say, on a healthy diet of the type of people that we are surrounded with. Like, to challenge each other, to feel that we feel heard and understood, that we cover our backs, right? Those are the things that are important in life, and that we actually have more effect that we think. Like, they say that we are the average of the 7 people that we are more exposed to. So let's pick them the right way, right? Like, what are the type of people that you want to be surrounded with? What are the type of people that brings us the good stuff that we feel comfortable, we feel good about. But for this episode, it's more, which are the people that we want to avoid? Which are the people that are toxic, that we actually know that those are not the good ones? And regardless of that, if they need us or not, because there are a lot of toxic relationships that comes from, well, they need us, right? And we feel that they need us. And as animals, right? Social animals, we need to be fulfilled somehow. But if this toxicity or these people that needs us makes us miserable, this is the wrong type of relationship. A relationship should be nurturing both ways. You need to be better because you enjoy your company, and you challenge yourself to be better people, to be better to communicate, right? Let's avoid the toxicity. And I'm talking about, of course, romantic relationships, but also the personal and friendship and all types of relationship. We need to avoid the toxicity. Also at work, right? Like, toxic work environments, those are the ones that are gonna end up killing us. and I'm not kidding. So we need to be careful. As much as we can avoid those, it doesn't have to be overnight, of course, but if you feel that you are in these types of environments, make a plan to shift to somewhere else, to identify somewhere else that is better. It's better for your soul, it's better for your life, and it's gonna bring in so much, at least you're gonna avoid misery. And that's what we're talking about today with those 6 dimensions that I hope that you find interesting. Of course, I don't think I've mentioned anything that you didn't know before, but it's always good to see different perspectives and remind what is the good stuff, what is the things that are gonna make our lives better. Like, making the right decisions on those 6 dimensions, at least we're gonna avoid so much pain. which is unnecessary. It's not, it's not worth it to go through some of those. I'm all in to go through pain sometimes. For instance, if you go to the gym, right, like you need to suffer something to gain something, right? But the trade-off there. You sweat and you put some effort there, so your muscles grow and you're stronger, right? And then you feel better. That's a good type of pain. But there's some pain sometimes that it's because we didn't think it through, and it's kind of uh, the short term. It's not it's when the delay gratification, right? Normally, when we delay gratification, those are the types of good trade-offs. Normally those are the type of good trade-offs, right? I'm not gonna eat this really good and tasty sugary thing. Um, so let's delay gratification. Now I'm gonna eat something healthier, and then long term, the trade-off is that you're gonna stay stronger. You're gonna be healthier, right? You're gonna think better as well. So yeah, let's pick the right people in our lives. And yeah, like I really like it would be awesome if you can give me some feedback, because of course, like each one of those six dimensions, I could just talk for like there are actually episodes or podcasts only talking about one of those themes, right? So if you want me to double down and pick one of those, feel free to give me some feedback, or feel free to, any feedback at all will be well received. You can write me at freddy@makingmyself.com. That's FREDI at makingmyself.com. So feel free to give me some feedback. And if you want me to double down on, I don't know, like financial management, financial type of decisions, or the career path, or the life partner, I might not know a lot of stuff, but I may actually recommend you some of the other podcasts that are out there if you don't know them already. So I'll be super happy to share some good things that I have identified already. And also as some info, I've been working with a lab on this new multivitamin type of product that we're working on, and I've been trying it, and it's been already more than a month. It's really good. I cannot complain. The only thing that I can complain is that we're iterating the flavor part because it tastes really bad. But I think I got used to it. Really, it's not that bad now. Um, I think there were like three types of taste. It was cherry, lemon, and orange. I already finished the orange one for the whole month. Now I'm going with the lemon one. And the good thing is, like in my surroundings, right, like the people surround me, it got sick a little bit because now, although we entered into spring, it's better weather now here in Spain. But what happened is that, yeah, like they were getting sick, and I haven't get sick, which is really weird. For me, at least one or two times per year, I get sick. So I'm super excited about that stuff. That thing, I think it really works, and I'm excited about that, and also excited about another type of product that we're working on in terms of pills to improve um, yeah, the mental performance, right? On terms of improving the memory, improving yeah, basically the all the cognitive side of the brain, like all the nutrients that the brain needs to think better. So we're building a product that is gonna give these, all these elements that the brain needs in terms of having a healthy and a good way to perform better, which I'm all about, and I'm really looking forward to test it as well. First on me, and then yeah, we'll put it on the site. Although we're only selling in Spain right now, but if you are abroad, like feel free to let me know, and I'll see what I can do, because for sure I can move needles in terms of how to commercialize that stuff abroad. So if you're interested, just sign up and let me know. You can write me into my email or sign up, because for all these people that are gonna be like the first purchases of it, they're gonna have a discount, because I really want them to grow the company. If they help the company grow, I just need to give something in return for sure, for those that are gonna be with the company from the very beginning. And I'm super excited. I cannot tell you how much. So feel free to give me some feedback there. Sorry that this part like kind of got a little bit long, but again, I'm really glad that you're here listening to it. I really wish that this was useful for you, and I guess that I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you have a great week ahead. Take care. Bye.